So this is Black Lion with Perspective Africa. You know, this channel is about finding solution to Africa's numerous economic challenges. And I'm here with Dr.
Simeon Kevich. I am the United Nations Eminent Ambassador. I came from Nigeria.
Niger, you know, Ghana, Niger.
Yeah, that's these are mother.
Yeah.
You know, Ghana is the mother of Nigeria.
Yeah.
The mother because Ghana got independence before Nigeria. So Ghana is always the mother of Nigeria and the mother of Africa.
You know what I love about Nigerians? They are very courageous, very generous. They don't give up.
Exactly.
There's a saying that I love to say, worry never carry last.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. So we have a lot of challenges when it comes to the unification of the continent of Africa. Most of our people, especially Kwame Nkrumah, have trumpeted this idea for a long time. And we have Gaddafi, who also was very instrumental. Unfortunately, this never came to light. I want you to share your perspective or your ideas on why this is not able to be achieved, sir.
Yeah, you know, when I've read a lot in the line of the struggles of our heroes past, especially Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and several quotes that he made. In fact, one of the one that I like most is, I was not an African because I was born in Africa.
Yeah,
I was an African because Africa was born in
I like that. Yeah. I love that.
So he had a lot of struggles to see the unification of Africa, not just Ghana, but the entire continent. And that struggle led to the independence of Ghana in 1957. And then other countries followed suit, including Nigeria in 1960 and all of that. But the challenge that I've seen, because the struggle till now has not been realized, that hard cry that he had, that struggle, that push had not been realized. And then I'm wondering why. And the only thing I could find as the reason was because the whites understood the power the African continent weighed if they came together and became one. So what they did was to divide Africa in the line of languages. You know, now this is Ghana. From Ghana to Nigeria, you're going to pass two countries. And these two countries in between, they don't speak the same language with you, don't speak the same language with Nigeria. So how are you going to unite with someone that you don't speak the same language? You know, the Tower of Babel's story.
Yeah.
The moment God said, these people, as long as they are one, there is nothing they want to achieve that they need. So the only way to stop them is to divide, confuse their language.
Yeah.
And so the moment they were their languages, they were no longer speaking one language. That was the end. They can no longer achieve anything. Now, that's what is happening in Africa. Africa, economic-wise, imagine I wrote a book on entrepreneurship, Pathway to Africa's Development and Wealth Creation. And I made a lot of research in all the countries in Africa, all the solid mineral deposits in Africa. We are the richest continent as long as the world is concerned. But what is happening? None of these natural minerals that you and I benefit from, they are lying fallow. Instead, other people come to mine them, take them to their countries, and then bring back finished product for us to pay higher, whereas this is our materials. Now, when you talk about the oil, can you imagine? Example is Nigeria. Nigeria has no functional refinery, but the oil comes from that land. They take them to the Europe, refine, and bring all other products, byproducts from this crude oil. They don't bring them back to us.
Yeah.
They just bring back the oil, sometimes even diluted.
Yeah.
And then we are paying higher for that which God has blessed us. This is very painful. So, several times I've written a lot of books and written a lot of articles and asking questions. How can the leaders of this great country come together? Now, I've stated the language issue, the language barrier, but that is not going to be a stopping. It's not supposed to be a reason why we cannot unite.
Yeah.
Because if the French-speaking countries decide that we are done with this imperialism,
Yeah.
we are done with this new colonization, and the English-speaking countries, the leaders come together and say, we are done with this. I am telling you, the moment we decide, the moment we are determined for liberation, that is the beginning point. But the truth is, I really do not understand whether we are tired with our situation.
So, Doctor, I do think that there's a Western interference, because recently I read a book written by John Perkins, that is the economic hitman, where he realized that America has really been very deliberate, very calculated in an attempt to make sure third world countries remain poor, where they have a system where corporations and institutions control the economies of third countries. Don't you think that Africans also must realize this antics and combat it?
Amazing thing. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's anybody breathing in Africa that is not aware of this.
It's true.
But it's not enough to know.
Yeah.
It's about what deliberate actions that are we taking to be free from this. Because we can if we choose to. I know so much well that the West influence over Africa's economy and politics is very strong. But it is because we submit to it. If we decide, just like the Singapore, the liberation of Singapore, if you have read the book from Third World to First World, it was a serious fight, but it came to it. Because if we decide, it begins from economic liberation. Economic liberation first and foremost, that we produce the things that we use. When we shift from becoming or consuming nations to producing nations, that's where the liberation comes from. Now, China has infiltrated Africa so much, even the Lebanese has infiltrated the African countries so well economically. And he who controls the economy and controls the people. So first is let the leaders look inward, because we have all it takes to produce all that we use to become economic independent, and then we begin to fight for political independence.
And you're right there. And there's this issue that, for example, when Kwame Nkrumah in 1963 made that the conference at Addis Ababa, it my name sells me right. When he said Africa must unite today or perish, the people had a chance, but unfortunately they missed the bus. And one of them, I remember, I'm sorry, but that's the truth I had. Was told by, that a Nigerian president went and he said, look, I came to this meeting as a president, and why should I go home as a governor? So I am beginning to believe that Africans love power more than the unity of the continent and the people. So what do you think on that?
That's a very powerful one, I look around the happenings in the politics, and I see so much self-centeredness, selfishness. Every leader that gets in there for his selfish purpose. Because if it's truly for the people, why do you have to kill the people that you want to serve? Why do you have to exploit the people that you want to serve? If it's truly that you're coming to lead the people, then you shouldn't kill them. You shouldn't destroy them. You shouldn't bring up policies that will cage them, terminate what they are using to survive. Once we shift from self-centeredness to become people-centered, that's the beginning point of our development. African leaders have not been very fair to us as a people. They are self-centered. Now, the acquisitions, most of them can serve their generations till forever. Yet they are still exploiting very much. Come to think that the revenue that each of these countries generate is enough. I was telling people that what individuals, here in Ghana is very fair. Generally, Ghana is fair. Nigeria is a different world. One person's network is enough to pay every Nigerian 1 million naira every month. Man, it's amazing. And yet they are still there. Wow. Grandfathers, great-grandfathers are still in leadership. They don't want to leave. And then until we bring the digital brain into the affairs of our nation,
Talking about digitization.
You can't use analog mindset to rule digital.
And this one, I just want to make a very. I know most of my people are going to skin me alive. You know why? And we have the vice president of Ghana is always drumming digitalization. But the people always sort of, I would say they don't get the picture. They're resisting it. They laugh at me, right? But anyway,
that's where the world is going.
Yeah, but that's what he always talks about. Yeah.
That's where in fact, when
they call him digital man.
I saw that he's digitalizing the school system.
Yeah.
And that's a good one.
I wish the vice president would meet you. But anyway.
See, you begin this analog people, this old people with analog mentality, you can't rule the Gen Z generation.
I like that.
You can't rule them with that same mindset. Wow. Things have changed, the world is moving, and we must catch up with the change. If you don't change with change will change.
I like that. So Doc, it's been very, very educative and informative speaking with you. And before we come to the end of the show, what are your final words to your listeners?
Yeah, thank you so much for this privilege to be here and to speak with you. Now, my final word to Africa is, in fact, to the youth of Africa. Because the future of Africa lies in the hands of the youth. So I am actually saying, let the youth in Africa rise. Let's take our center stage in the economy of the world. Let us take our place in destiny. Let us fight for the freedom that our forefathers fought for. Freedom that Dr. Kwame Nkrumah preached about, the justice he preached about, which our present-day leaders are trampling upon. Let's rise and take it up again. Let's rise and fight for it, because I know as long as he could cross his mind to talk about it in the past, it means that we can actually realize it.
That is really powerful message. The youth must rise.
Yes, we must rise. We must utilize technology. We must utilize, because imagine now, with the power of technology, we can actually achieve this unification we are talking about. Wherever we are, through the power of technology, we can become one. We can speak the same language.
Sure.
We can pursue, we can have the same purpose, the same goals, and we can achieve whatever we want to achieve. So wherever you see your brother in Africa, know that is your brother.
So on this note, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your vision, your ideas with Africa. And I believe that someday somebody will hear of this, then you run with that and make sure that Africa take its rightful position on the global stage. With me, this is Black Lion speaking for Perspective Africa channel. I'm with Dr.
Simeon Kevin.
Chuku. What's the meaning of Chuku?
Chuku means God.
God. Nigerians are very religious people. Oh my God.
Because the journey of life, once you identify your source, you can't, if you separate yourself from your source, that's death. So God is our source.
That's great. That's great. So thank you so much.
Thank you
for this wonderful moment.
Thank you so much.
God bless you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Nigeria is always the big brother of Africa.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.